Okay, can everybody see my screen? Anas, can you confirm?
Yes.
Great. Okay, fantastic. So, welcome to this workshop. So, this workshop is a bit of a mixture of practical English skills workshop, but also Anas is going to give us some very useful information about the bureaucracy involved in relocating to Canada and the English requirements that you need. So, we're going to start off today by talking about phrasal verbs for health. So phrasal verbs is a topic. I'm a teacher. I've been teaching for 10 years. Phrasal verbs is a topic that my students generally have quite a lot of issues with. You know, you've got to look up, to look into, to look forward to look at, like a variety of different prepositions that wildly change the meaning of the phrasal verb. And when you're speaking to native speakers, we use them a lot. If we're monolingual, we will forget not to use them because we don't understand that other people, non-native speakers, don't understand them. So mastering phrasal verbs is a challenge, but it's certainly something that will level up your speaking skills. I'm using the wrong slides because I changed them because I noticed there was a mistake in one of them. No. Okay, I'm using the older version of the slides. There's just a little mistake here, but anyway, we'll manage. Okay. The first thing that you need to know when we're talking about phrasal verbs is that you can have transitive or intransitive phrasal verbs. What does that mean? Transitive phrasal verbs or transitive verbs in general are verbs where you need to have an object. So, for example, the verb to buy. To buy. I cannot say, yesterday I went to the shop and I bought. You bought what? Like you need to have an object after the verb. You need to say, I bought bananas, I bought a car, I bought something. So that's what we mean when we say transitive. So some phrasal verbs are transitive. For example, I look after somebody. This is an example of a transitive phrasal verb. Some phrasal verbs are intransitive, which means that, surprise, surprise, you do not need an object. The plane takes off. There's nothing after takes off. Does anyone have any questions about transitive or intransitive so far? No? Just give me one moment because I want to just make sure that we have the most recent slides because I do believe there was an answer to a question, one of them, and I want to make sure that it's not there. Replace. Great. Okay. Sorry, go on.
I have a question. Could you please share the slides with us
Yes.
in email?
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to send you the slides after the workshop for sure.
Okay, thank you. Thank
And
you so much.
you're all going to get 1 month free of Verbivore as well, so you'll have access to the phrasal verbs course where you can practice this more. Don't worry. So,
Perfect. Thank you.
no worries. Just to summarize, transitive, these verbs require an object. Turn off the light. You can't just say turn off. And intransitive phrasal verbs don't require an object. So the plane took off. We don't say anything after the plane. Then we have something else that we need to know before we study phrasal verbs, which is separable or inseparable. So it sounds like what it is. Separable phrasal verbs are verbs where you can separate the verb, turn, look, get, put, and the preposition of, off, with, by. You can separate it. So turn off is an example of a separable phrasal verb. You can say turn off the lights, but you can also say turn the lights off. You can divide the phrasal verb. How do you know if a phrasal verb is separable or inseparable? Well, that's a little bit tricky. There's no specific rule that can help you when you're learning a new phrasal verb. A good dictionary will tell you if a phrasal verb is separable or inseparable. Otherwise, you just kind of have to learn it. You have to memorize it. But the more familiar you are with these, the easier it will get. Does anybody have any questions about separable phrasal verbs? Inez, if you have a question, just write it in the chat. I can see that you're not muted, but I can't hear anything that you're saying. I'm so sorry. Please write your questions in the chat if you have one. Let me see. Okay, if you write a question, I'll answer it, okay? Okay, so we have some phrasal verbs about, let's have a look. Okay, we have some phrasal verbs about health here. So we've got to get over something, to take care of somebody or something, to come down with something, to wear somebody out, to put on, to pass out, to pass away, to throw up, to swell up, and to cut down on something. So I am going to ask you guys for your input. Hamza, and by the way, the definitions are coming up on the next slide, so we will see the definitions in a moment. Hamza, what does it mean to get over something? Do you know? You can write it if you don't want to speak. Or Anas, can you tell me what it means to get over something?
You put me under the bus. So for me, Inas or Anas?
Anas, you.
Me? No way. So to get over something, that to find a way to pass it or to manage it.
Oh, my mistake. Sorry. No, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, sorry. Hamza says that he didn't see the screen. I'm not sure why that is, Hamza. Sorry. Anas, sorry. Can you just repeat what you said?
See your screen, it's blank right now.
Huh. Okay. Sorry about that. Let me share it again. Okay. Strange. You can see it now?
Yeah, right. It's okay.
Okay, great. Sorry, Anas, can you please explain to me what to get over something means again? Am I shouting into the void? Anas! Or if Anas is not here, Nasim, can you please explain to me what to get over something means?
Get over, I think, means it's related to emotional situation. Means recovery emotionally.
Yeah, you're 50% correct. It absolutely means recovery. It's not just for emotions, though. You can say, I lost my job last week, but I have got over it now. Like, I'm fine now. I'm not upset. But you can also use it for illnesses. I had COVID last week, but I have got over it now. Or I still haven't got over my cold. So it means to recover. You're absolutely right. Could you make
it's meant to recover, to recover from.
Yes, absolutely. But I wouldn't use it for serious illnesses. I wouldn't say I got over cancer. I would use it for a cold, the flu, a virus, or something emotionally difficult, like losing your job or experiencing a breakup. Nasim, could you give me an example with to get over something, please?
For example, she finally got over her breakup.
Perfect. Beautiful. Nasim, I'm going to skip past to take care of something or to take care of somebody. I think we know what this is, but correct me if I'm wrong. Nasim, can you explain to me what it means to come down with something?
It means I don't know how to explain. maybe about the disease. For example, calm down. He calmed down. Um, uh, I don't know how to explain. Sorry.
No, it's okay. You're right. It means to get sick with. It's the opposite of to
Yes.
get over. Again, I wouldn't use it for like a really serious disease. I wouldn't say, oh, she has come down with leukemia or something like that.
Oh
No,
yes,
something
exactly.
like a cold, the flu, again a virus, a stomach bug, like a stomach illness. Oh, I came down with a terrible virus last week, for example.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
came down with a terrible virus, but I have got over it now. Wow, two phrasal verbs. So
Yeah.
as you can see, to come down with is transitive because it's to come down with something, but it's inseparable. So we can say I came down with a cold, but we can't
Yeah.
say I came down a cold with. It doesn't really sound good either. When you get familiar with phrasal verbs, you'll be able to sense the difference.
Yeah.
Hamza, what does it mean to wear somebody out? Okay, Nassim, it sounds like it's just you and I.
Yes.
Do you know
But
what it means to wear somebody
I'm not sure, but I think it means tired.
out?
To wear somebody out. For example, uh, mm, this job where wear me out. It means this
Yes,
job get me tired.
yes, but this job is
Next
it.
week.
So you have to say
Yeah.
this job wears me out, or this job
Wears. Yes.
makes me tired. Yeah, exactly. This is separable. So you can say this job wears me out, or that job wears out my mother.
Mm.
That's a really good point, actually. We would if we use a pronoun like me, you, him, her, it's always separated for separable phrasal verbs. We don't say, for example, this job wears out me. No, this job
Yes.
wears
Excuse
me
me,
out.
my headphones were muted. Sorry for that.
It's okay, don't worry.
Yeah,
Um,
to me, I think it totally mean like exhausted, if I'm not wrong.
if you're worn out, you're exhausted. Yes, exactly. Fantastic. To put on, we use like to put on weight, for example, to put on weight, to lose weight. Abrar, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Abrar. Welcome. Abrar, do you know what to pass out means? We'll come back to Abrar in a moment. Maybe they are just sorting out their microphone. Hamza, do you know what to pass out means?
In my opinion, like it's mean like to distribute something.
We can absolutely use it like that. All of the latecomers are coming now. Isaac, welcome. Abrar, welcome. You missed the beginning where we were explaining the grammar of phrasal verbs, but I will send you this presentation after the call. Isaac, can you hear me? Abrar?
Mute.
Abrar is muted. Are you still muted? I don't think you are still muted, Abrar. Can you speak? Say hello.
Hello?
Hi, Abrar.
I don't know why.
We can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah. Hi.
I can't hear you. I don't know
Oh,
why. Maybe the problem is in my laptop.
oh.
Sorry, I will fix it.
It's okay. Anas, can you hear me? Is my audio okay? Can someone please confirm if you can hear me? Why am I speaking to myself?
Thank you.
I can't hear you.
I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. Okay.
Okay, good. Come on, guys, a little bit more interaction, please. Otherwise, I feel like I'm speaking to myself. Hamza, you said to pass out is like to give people things. Yeah, absolutely. I can say I'm passing out the pencils. But if we use it in the context of health, it means like, like to faint, to lose
Faint.
consciousness.
Yes.
Exactly.
Lose conscious. Yes.
Beautiful. I don't know who said that, but beautiful. So for example,
Yeah, like
sorry,
the sentence will be like he passed out from the heat, if I'm not wrong.
that's
If
beautiful.
we make it in a sense.
Chef's kiss. Fantastic. Yeah. Or she didn't eat anything all day and then she passed out. Perfect. But you have to be careful with this
Yeah.
one. Careful with this one because it's not the same as to pass away. Can anyone tell me what to pass away means?
Like it's mean die. If anyone
Yeah,
died.
exactly. Yeah. So if you pass out, you faint temporarily. She passed out because he was so beautiful. She couldn't handle it. She passed out. And if you pass away, you die. So it's not temporary. To throw up. What does it mean
Vomiting.
to
Means
vomit?
vomit.
Great. That was Nasim.
Yes.
Nasim, can you give me an
Yeah.
example sentence with to
For
vomit?
example, she felt sick and threw up after eating the food.
Perfect. Really, really, really nice. Good. And to swell up. Does anyone know what to swell up means? I'll give you an example sentence. Last week I had
Like I think it's mean anything that have anyone have some injury on their body. Like if anyone was
sorry.
injured, it's mean it's swell up.
Okay, so a part of your body might swell up if you have an injury, but it doesn't mean to have an injury. What do you think it means?
Yeah, if
Maybe because of blood.
it's become anyone to become larger. If I'm not wrong.
Exactly, yeah, to become bigger, to become larger. I had an operation on my knee last week, and my ankle has swollen up. It's
Yeah,
really
it's swell up. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. In fact, it looks like I don't have an ankle. It just goes leg, foot. It's swollen up so much.
Mhm.
So yeah, to swell up, to get bigger. In which situation would we use to cut down on?
For example, in diabetic person, the patient have to cut down on sugar.
Good, good. Nasim, I'm noticing a repeated error you're making in English. So you keep saying like he have, or the patient have, or he come. Remember, if it's he, she, or it, we have to put an S at the end. So the patient has
Yes.
done this, okay? So the
Yeah.
patient has to
Yes.
cut down on.
Yeah.
We only change the verbs once in English. We only conjugate them differently for he, she, and it. It's not so
Yes.
difficult as other languages. Okay, perfect. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to write a quick list of the definitions of these. Oh, wait. So here you can see the definitions, and this is actually from the Phrasal Verbs 1 course in Verbivore. So all of the modules, I'll show you them in a bit, all of them come with this summary after the video class. So you'll be able to download all of them there. But let me just write you a quick summary. So to get over, I'll show you why. One moment. Welcome back, Isaac. To wear out, to make someone extremely tired, to put on weight, to gain weight, to pass out, to faint. Type in these because in a moment I'm going to move to a different screen and I want you to be able to see them. To swell up. Okay, so far, does anybody have any questions? No? How do I stop sharing my screen? That is my question. Does anybody know how? Can anybody help me?
That's not a question.
I don't know how to do it.
I think go for the share again.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I want to cancel it. There we go. Okay, just a sec. So I just need to change my screen quickly. Because I made some exercises to use to practice these. Bear with me a moment. Okay, so we're going to do a couple of exercises now to practice this, and then we will look at describing your symptoms. Okie dokie. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. We can.
Okay. So what I want us to do here. Sorry. Inez. Okay, what I want us to do here is I want us to try and complete the spaces. Now, I can't see you guys anymore, so I am going to call out names and pick on you. So please, if you can speak up. Make sure you're not muted. You have the list of the phrasal verbs in the chat, so you should be able to figure it out. Anas, I'm going to pick on you for number 1. Can you complete the first sentence for me, please?
Okay. I think I am spaced down with a cold. I have been sneezing all the day. Okay.
All day. Just
all
we
day.
don't need that. Yeah.
Let me. I'm sneezing to come. I'm thinking I am to come down with.
Oh, it's the correct verb, but we wouldn't say I am to come down. We'd use a different
I am
form of verb.
coming down.
Yeah, I think that was Nassim, no? Perfect. I think I am coming down. I don't know who said. Yeah, I don't know who said it, but who said it was
Nassim.
Nassim. Okay, thank you, Nassim. Abrar, number 2.
Care.
Sorry, can you read the full sentence for me?
To come down is something to be sick.
For number 2.
Okay. He stayed home to take care
Good.
of his sick child.
Perfect. Really nice. Inez. Inez, I don't know if you speak. Inez, can you speak yet or?
Okay, let me try. Can you hear me?
We hear you. Yes, perfect. Nice to
finally.
hear you finally. Okay, good.
Finally.
Great. Okay, number 3, Inez.
Okay. Probably he filled up after eating some out of date seafood.
Sorry, I didn't quite hear you. Can you just repeat what should go here?
He feel up
Feel up?
after eating. Yeah.
No, not feel up. Can anybody help Ines? We need the phrase. Yeah. He
Go.
throw in
Throw up. Oh, okay.
the past. How is it?
Through.
Threw up after eating some out of date seafood. Great. Hamza, number 4.
Cut down.
Sorry, who said that?
It's me. I'm sorry. I maybe the mic I should.
It's okay. What did you say?
Cut down.
Yes, cut down on sugar. Okay, let's go with Isaac. Isaac, can you speak? I don't know if I can hear you. I don't hear anything.
Swell up.
Yeah, nice. Nice to hear you, Isaac. Yeah, really good. My eyes swell up when I have an allergic reaction. Great. Number 6, Abrar.
He struggled to, I think, get over his injury.
Good. Very nice. Hamza, number 7.
Last minute.
Really,
Like it makes me tired. Do you remember which one we used for to make someone tired?
wore me out or wear me out. Wore me
Yeah,
out.
wears me out. Although I think it would also be correct to say wore me out. You're right. It's not clear here if we're talking about the present or the past. But if we're talking about the present, it has to be with an S. Nasim, number 8.
Number 8, she felt dizzy and passed out during the heat wave.
Perfect.
What's the meaning of heat wave?
Heat wave. A heat wave is when you have a period of extreme heat. That's abnormal. But like weather, we're talking about the weather.
Yes.
So you might have a week where there's like it's 40 degrees Celsius, because I don't know how Fahrenheit works. I don't know what you use in Canada. Do you use Fahrenheit or Celsius?
Celsius.
Okay. We're all good. So yeah, you might have a week where it's 40, 45 degrees Celsius. That's a heat wave.
Yeah, thank you.
No, thank you. Anas, number 9.
She is trying to cut down.
Perfect. And Ines, number 10.
Her grandfather passed out peacefully in his sleep.
No. Can
Away,
anyone?
I think away.
Away.
Passed away. Yeah. To pass out is
Pass away.
Ines, desmayarse. In Spanish, to pass out is desmayarse, I believe, but to pass away, you can't pass out if you're already asleep. I had some little exercises here. I just wanted you to describe a situation, but actually we're running low on time, so I do want to leave because I want to show you some stuff before we finish. So the summary that I shared with you before is from Verbivore's Phrasal Verbs 1 course. And as I said, all of you are going to get 1 month free of Verbivore, so you'll be able to practice it as much as you like. So this course, the first 4 modules are about the grammar of phrasal verbs. So we touched on it a little bit at the beginning of this class, but this goes into it in much more depth. Introduction, separable, inseparable, permanently separated, transitive, really exciting stuff. And then once you've got the basics down, then it's divided into different topics. So you've got phrasal verbs for work, money and business, relationships, The materials from this course were taken from health. So there's always a video class, flashcards, a summary, and then some exercises to practice. This kind of course, I think, would be really good if you are also preparing to take the IELTS or a Cambridge exam and you want to increase your mark for lexical resource. But now we're going to have a look at the medical English course. Now, this course is entitled Medical English for Patients. It was created with patients in mind, but I still think that even if your goal is to work in the medical profession, there's going to be a lot of useful vocabulary here. So there's 9 topics. It starts with how do you feel, an appointment with the GP, at the pharmacy, emergency situations, discussing treatment options, follow-up care, managing health and wellness. As you can see, there's a lot of material here, different healthcare professionals, and we also have a full chapter on women's health as well. And each of these modules follow different characters and their experiences navigating the healthcare system. So we're not going to watch the video together, but I do want to use it to do some exercises. Just a moment. I want to mute it so it doesn't bother us. Okay. So, as I said, we're not going to watch it together, but I do want to have a look at a couple of the paragraphs here. Isaac, are you there?
Yeah, I am there.
Hi, Isaac. Isaac, where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm from Toronto.
Ah, very cool. You know, I've never been to Canada. I'm gonna have to visit. I've got a couple of friends in Saskatchewan.
Okay.
But I think I've heard Saskatchewan, is it in the middle of nowhere?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard. So I don't know if it's the top of my list, but we'll see. Anyway, Isaac, could you do me the honors and could you please read these 2 paragraphs here?
Last weekend, I felt trouble. I had a headache, fever, and a sore throat. I stayed in bed and took some painkillers. By Monday, my symptoms hadn't improved. So I booked an appointment with my GP. The doctor prescribed antibiotics and recommended plenty of rest.
Great. Isaac, can you just reread this word here for me?
Throat.
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 So even though we have 2 vowels here, but we don't pronounce it like a diphthong. We don't say throat. We just say throat. Throat.
Or throat.
Exactly. Perfect. And GP, do you guys call it a GP in Canada? Like the family
General
doctor?
practitioner.
Yeah, general practitioner. Exactly. Perfect. Is there any vocabulary here that you guys don't understand? Any questions or no? Okay, nice. It sounds like we got a lot of experts in the room. So, just so you have an idea of how the course looks, in the next month, we'll be changing these videos. So all of the exercises will be interactive within the video. You won't need to pause the video. But just to start, there's usually like an introductory dialogue or monologue, and then there are quizzes about the vocabulary after that with the answers included. Hamza, can you please read this guy?
Yeah. I woke up this morning with a sharp pain. I could barely hear anything. I went to the clinic and the nurse checked my temperature and asked me about my symptoms. The doctor said I have an ear infection and gave me a prescription for antibiotics.
Good, nice pronunciation of prescription. You said antibiotics. I would say antibiotics. This is a common error that a lot of English learners make, or at least my students make. They'll often say like virus, biology, but in English the IE sound is much more common than the E sound. So antibiotics. Antibiotics. Is there any vocabulary here that people have a doubt about? You guys don't need to. Oh, go on. What word did you say? It's all clear?
Yes.
Okay, we'll move on. You guys don't need to improve your English. You've come prepared with your medical English. Abrar, can you please read this line?
Yes. 2 days ago, I slipped and fell in my kitchen. My back started hurting badly, so I decided to visit a doctor. After examining me, the doctor told me I had strained a muscle and recommended rest and painkillers.
Great. Strain the muscle. So we actually have two words that are really similar. We have to strain a muscle, which would just mean to put a muscle under stretch, just like under stress. Sorry, to strain is a synonym of stress. In fact, and I'll write this for you in the chat. Does anybody know what RSI is? Have you heard of this before? This is an injury you can get. It stands for repetitive strain injury. It's the type of injury you get when you put repeated stress or pressure on a part of your body. So I'm always typing with my wrist on the corner of the desk. So I'm at risk of repetitive strain injury by constantly having stress on this part of my wrist. I really need to get an ergonomic mouse pad. But if you're working in a factory and you spend all day, I don't know, putting socks onto mannequins, or if you work in the supermarket and you're always lifting boxes, these are all different types of RSI, so repetitive strain injury, just when you're putting stress on a particular part of your body. But we have another word which is very similar, which is a sprain, the noun, or to sprain. It's a regular verb. What does it mean if I say I sprained my ankle?
It's
Yeah.
it's bad movement.
Yeah.
That will result in pain in your ankle because it's like I don't know how I can explain it.
You described it really well. Like it's a bad movement. You put strain on your ankle. Yeah. So it's not quite as serious as a. Well, I don't know. It's not so serious. Sorry.
Not as a broken leg.
Exactly. It's not so serious as breaking your leg, but actually it can be pretty serious. I'll give you an example. I don't know if you can see. I'm recovering from a sprained knee. I had a really bad knee sprain last year and I tore my ACL. So they can be really serious, but usually not. Usually they just swell up a little bit. So you might have a swollen ankle because you have sprained it. Okay, we'll move on. So yes, there's questions throughout to check to check if you understand all of the vocabulary. Anas, can you please read this for me?
Yeah, sure. I had a high fever last night and couldn't sleep. This morning, my temperature was still high, so I called the clinic to book an appointment. The doctor advised me to stay hydrated and prescribed some medication to reduce the fever.
Beautiful pronunciation. This word, from my experience, causes a lot of problems. I believe in Russian, it's very similar to the word for recipe. So a lot of my students confuse recipe and prescription. And I think in Spanish, una receta or recetar, I can't remember. I'm actually very rusty with my Spanish. But to prescribe, it's usually the word that causes my students the most problems. Any
I
vocabulary?
don't, Iona, if you notice that with you, the student, but the Arabic background most of the time, and myself as well, we mix between P and B when we pronounce the word. So this is very tricky and hard for us.
That's really interesting. And yesterday I learned a new word in Maltese. I live in Malta, and Maltese is like a mixture of Northern African, Arabic dialects like Darija or Tunzi and Italian. And I learned a new word, which is jupes, which in Malta it means chalk, but I think in Darija it means like plaster. But it's written with a B, but it's pronounced with a P, jupes. So interesting. So I didn't know, but I didn't know it's like a universal Arabic speaker confusion. Thanks. All right. Well, I tell you what, we'll end my section there. If Anas, if you're all right to hand over to you. Oh, wait, let me just. Sorry, bear with me a moment. I had something else to show you. Sorry, Anas. 2 minutes.
No.
You can all see my screen again.
Yes.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, this little summary, you can download a full book of all of them from the phrasal verbs course, but you can also just download the individual PDFs if you just want to revise one topic. So these resources were taken from the Phrasal Verbs Made Easy 1 course. This course has the phrasal verbs divided by topic. So you might have phrasal verbs for relationships, phrasal verbs for education. In the Phrasal Verbs Made Easy 2 course, it's alphabetized. So there's one module, phrasal verbs beginning with A, phrasal verbs beginning with B. You know how the alphabet works. And then the other stuff, which I think was maybe too easy for you guys, was from the Medical English for Patients B2 course. But I think the first module is more of a generalized medical English vocabulary. And as the modules progress, it gets more difficult. So you're absolutely welcome to try those. You can get a month of Verbivore for free, and you can cancel whenever you like with this discount code. And we will be sending you these slides after the call, so you can you don't need to take a note right now. So Anas, would you like me to just continue sharing my screen, or do you want the power?
It's up to you. It's fine. I think leave it from your side. It's better just to make sure
Okay, great.
we will not. Yeah, because we are running out of time, so try
No
to.
worries. I'm gonna mute myself, but I'll be here. So if when you want me to change the screen, just say Iona, change it.
Iona, I will say Iona.
All right, I'm gonna turn off my microphone.
Iona, next slide, please. Total is not reflected. No.
I'm gonna mute everyone because someone's microphone is making a lot of noise. So sorry guys, you're all getting muted. All right, Anas, over to you.
Yeah, I don't have control. Please move to the next slide. Okay, thank you. Thank you everyone for your time and being with us today. My name is Anas Abidrabbu, and thank you, Iona, for giving me the opportunity to be part from this webinar and for your initiative to celebrate with the Nursing Day. Happy Nursing Day for everyone. If you are from the nursing, myself, I came from registered nurse background. I used to work on the ICU, and then I moved to health technology. So I will start straight away with my slide deck. So here, as we can see, you want to bring a very interesting topic for the medical terminology for us. And I believe everyone on the call, the English is not the first language for them. They are not native speaker, and they need to improve and enhance that. Along the side with that, also they are in the healthcare sectors where we need to have one common language and terminology. We need to do that, and that we need to make sure we speak the same language. Some of those we had them already on to our study, and some of them for me, I learned a lot of those phrases today from Iona. This is where came as a culture where you are. So I can see Nassim and also Isaac and Inas, they are in Canada. I don't know Hamza and also Abra from where they are, but you can understand how it is very important for us to be to master the medical terminology. So one of the most important things, we improve our communication, and this is where we try to give the proper word and term in the right place without repeating ourselves, and spend more time to give the other what we mean. And this is also from medical perspective, and this is will decrease the patient safety and decrease the risk factor to have any patient safety. And this is commonly happen on the communication. Breaking communication is considered the number 4 of the incident reporting in the hospital. And when we speak the same language, this is where we can decrease that. So that happened already with the native speaker. That doesn't mean if you don't speak and you don't take the course of medical terminology, you will be threatening on the patient. But that means the communication is broken overall. So we need to, as much as we can, to decrease and mitigate those risks. And this is also for us as myself. I am an immigrant. I came to Canada as an immigrant, and I am nursing and also working on Canada, which is English, not my first language, and as a speaker, and I need to make sure I use the proper language and I feel confidence in front of non-speaker. That doesn't mean if I pronounce something wrong or put a different verb or inappropriate grammar that I am not good, but this is where I need to accept that and keep educate myself and train myself and spend more time with the native speaker to improve my communication. One of those can be e-learning tool. We can use those e-learning tool to help us to boost our confidence. And also, when you have all those together, this will give you open market in the Canada and in the US mainly. So if you came here and you want to work here, you need to prove and you have a high level English skills. And on the same time, if you want to work on the health sector, you need to have a proving you can understand and you can speak medical terminology. For me, I study back on home in Jordan. We study in English, but again, when we communicate with the patient, we communicate in Arabic. So most of the time, we use this to speak in Arabic. And when we communicate internally as a healthcare team, sometimes with some word is not work or not catch with me immediately, I can break it with Arabic. So it's fine. But if you want to work here, you need to be very confident you are mastering the medical terminology. Next, Iona, please. So why terminology will make you or set you apart in Canada and the US? I believe I covered this is somewhere, but again, to summarize, this is a universal language for everyone working in the healthcare sectors. So regardless you are from nursing background, you are a pharmacist, you are a doctor, all of us, we speak the same language. And this is also one of the most important things. I don't know from where you came, but from my country, based on my experience, all our documentation was also in the English, but the compliance of the communication and for legal perspective is wasn't tackled or taking on consideration that time when I worked here in Canada, specifically, and US also. It is very restrict when it's coming for legal compliance. So imagine something happened with the patient or something happened with you as a practitioner, and you need to prove you documented this in the right time, in the right way. So you need to make sure your English is working for you, it's helping you. So this is one of the things. Medical terminology, it's something, it's not luxury, it's a must, and this is essential to be hired here. So you need to have a proven you have that. So something during your course, something as a certificate or a micro certificate, whatever is working with you, this is will be mandated. So you will not hire until you prove that you have understanding and you practice a medical terminology. And medical terminology is too big, it's not something it's easy, and we need to practice to keep maintaining that. And this is will need to be integrated with our day to day, and also to know how to speak with the patient and how to speak also with ourselves as full and healthcare professional. Next, please, Iona. Okay, one of the things here, if you are now all the call, what I or most of the on the call, what I some of them they are right now in Canada already. But if you want to immigrate to U.S. or Canada, or if you want to get onto the work in the hospital in Canada and U.S., you need to improve your English proficiency level. So one of those programs, especially here, I'm talking about Canada, to consider the IELTS. And the IELTS here, they are looking to have the academic and overall 6.5 to 7, and you need to have in all sections not less than 6. So this is where you need to make sure your English it's very good to in order to work on your area, or to complete or to pursue your dream job here. One of the something it's very specific here for Canada. There is a Canadian English language benchmark assess- assessment for nurses. This is something very specific for Canada, but this is the score which they are looking for that. By the way, all of them they are equal. So if you bring those as a listening 10 and speaking 8, reading 8 also, and writing 7, that equal 6.5 to 7 in IELTS. In the same thing on TOEFL, we need that score if you want to have that scores. And there is a new program here also. I forget the name of the program. I bought the logo without the name of the BTC, I think. This is also another program. It's considered here in Canada. One of the most important things here, this is not a educational advice, but every program have their own specific or requirement to have. So the most respective and acceptable one is IELTS, but some of program they accept the other. But that doesn't mean, for example, the Canadian benchmark will be accepted for all programs. So you need to make sure where you are applying, if you are applying to come to Canada, or during the application process to make sure what's English exam it's required. Some of those application you can waive the English requirement, and there is a criteria to do that. So I encourage you to go and check if there is a way to waive this requirement. If not, you need to consider what is the best program for you to pursue and to achieve your program. One of the things Iona it's provided also, she can help you with her platform to prepare for the IELTS, and she can support you to do that. Next, Iona, please.
Thank you for mentioning that. I'd completely forgotten to mention it. We do have IELTS preparation courses. So we have an introduction to IELTS, IELTS speaking, and IELTS writing. So thank you, Anas.
So here, if you are not in Canada and you are interested to come to Canada, there is a lot of the program for Canadian immigration pathway for specifically for the nurses. And this is not immigration advice. This is something based on the internet search and from my experience. So I encourage you and urge you, if you want to get any official and formal information, go for the canada.ca, or consult your immigration advisor to help you to know which best program and is it program for you. But right now, because all of us we know there is a shortage on the healthcare sectors, and specifically for nurses, they give more flexibility and more program for nurses to come over the seas. And even if you are existing in Canada, there is a local and domestic program for everyone on the Canada soil to get into the healthcare sectors and markets. One of the most and easiest things based on my personal understanding, again, my personal understanding is not something it's I'm sure about it, but Federal Skills Worker Program is the fastest and the easiest one to get there. And the other, they have different programs to do and different timeline for that. So we will go through this and more into details and try to give you more understanding how to get into the Canada. Next, please. Okay, so here we will go through the process of getting into or to apply or submit your application to come into the Canada, and this is the visualize what will take from you to come here into the Canada. So this is it's vary, and this is the timeline. Doesn't mean it's the this is the average timeline. So maybe more or less. It depends on the volume of the application submitted for IRCC, and in the same time this is based on which program you choose, but this is the average where you can have those. This is again maybe it's vary from different from one to another based on background, based on the specialty, based on your original nationality and from where you came. So please don't take this as a guarantee. Connect with your immigration advisor. So immigration pathway you need here to make sure in the beginning you choose which program or pathway is work for you. Then after that you will go and submit your or prepare your English language test to make sure apply with the immigration pathway requirement. Then after that you will send your credential assessment for it depends again. Some of them they need to go with WIS, some of them they need to go for NNAS. It depends on which program you are working on it. So this is where you need to prepare that, and after that they will evaluate your program and make sure if this is have a equivalent in Canada or not. Then after that you will take all those paper and submit it your application based on the program you are looking for based on IRCC, and then after that you will receive if they accept you, you will receive something is called invitation to apply. That now you can submit all full application for you, and after that, after you submit that, the IRCC will starting and take the review for your cases and working on that. And if they accept your application to come to Canada, then you will receive something called confirmation for permanent residency. So when you this is something you can come to Canada and you can start to do that. When I get that, they give me 1 year visa to prepare to come to Canada. The good things, and that time I wasn't aware about it. There's a program called Pass. That program, you can use this while you are not into Canada to prepare yourself to get into the market of Canada. So you have 1 year for your benefit to speed up your process. And after that, you come to Canada, and something is, it's my personal opinion. It's weird in Canada. All this process doesn't mean when you get into Canada and you get approval and you submit your credential and set your credential through the IRCC, and even if they are qualified in Canada, that does mean you can work in the Canada. Now, when you get into the Canada, you need to start work on your registration process. So in that time I wasn't aware I can do that while I'm out of the Canada. You can do it if you get your COPR. You can get that process done even before you come to Canada. But this is a process system to take from 1 to 2 years. So it's good for you if you consider that to come and to consider this is to apply for this before you came to Canada. Next, please. Okay, here overall as a nursing license qualification process, and this is very based on which province you are. I am in Ontario, so try to give something based on Ontario, but then realize no, let's give something very overall to see in the high level how it's works. So after you come to Canada, you need to apply the provincial regulatory bodies, and every province they have different regulatory body. Then you will submit your proof of identity, education, and work history, whatever, on those information, and demonstrate your English proficiencies. So you need to make sure when you apply for IRCC, also at the same time you need to apply for something with not expired. For the regulatory body, and then they will do again your credential assessment and verification. After that, you will complete any required exam or apprenticeship program if it's required, and then you will be ready to go to the market. Next, please. Okay, one of the most important things, and still I struggle with myself here. You need to be compliance and sync with the Canadian culture. And Canadian culture here, we one of the things is the way how they are speak. So sometimes there is the accent. However, the accent of the Canadian citizen, it's I see it very simple. It's very easy compared with other accent. For example, Iona for me it's harder than a Canadian. So in Canada it's very good welcoming culture, and they have plain language or plain accent. Canadian value, they encourage diversity and inclusion and respect all background, and this is something you need to make sure you are understanding what that means. Is not only a buzzword, it is something you need to practice down the road. Also, they see the patient-centered care and teamwork are core principles. Clear professional communication is expected. So this is where we need to improve our English. Continuous learning and professional development something is considered to be all the time. Sorry. Understand and respect cultural differences, improve patient care. This is again based on the inclusion and diversity. They expect that, and also to see the way how we can improve our patient care on the system. They invest a lot on the healthcare system here in Canada, and they try to support the all immigrant and international educated to get into the system. So take the advantage for this. Next, please. So this is my last slide. Here I will hand over for Iona, but one of the things here I would like all of you to connect with me. Here is my contact information. I have experience working on nursing and also in the health tech. So if you need any coaching or mentoring, please connect with me and let me know you are came from Iona side, and we will find a way how I can advise you. And even if you want just to connect with me and say hi, please come and let's see how I can support you. Thank you, Iona, for your time, and thank you for having me in this wonderful webinar.
Thank you for coming. Although it does sound like you've got a cold you need to get over at some point. So I hope you manage to get over it soon. So yeah, just a quick summary. The resources that we found today, they're all in Verbivore, the Phrasal Verbs Made Easy 1 course and the Medical English course, and you can get 1 month free with this code. It's only valid for this year, so you don't have to sign up today. You can do it in 2 months. Anytime until the end of this year would be absolutely fine. And just to show you the rest of the course catalog, just a moment. It's not usually this laggy. I think it's because I'm sharing my screen. So I tried to design Verbivore as a one-stop shop, not only for professional English, but for English courses that will help you excel in cultural integration in general. So we have 3 idioms and expressions courses. We've got idioms 1, idioms 2, and idioms 3. This is really pivotal to be able to sound like a native, and it also really help you when you're understanding like TV, movies. In fact, a lot of my students have said that they're very surprised when they see idioms and expressions that they've learned here popping up in their favorite TV shows. As Anas kindly highlighted, we also do have some IELTS preparation courses, although we have the reading and listening courses coming soon. And then if you are interested in improving your English for work, we have 2 business English courses. This one, Business English B2, is more of a generalized look at business English vocabulary, whereas Business English C1 is more geared towards entrepreneurs, starting a business, business finances, business ethics, etc. And the Story Atlas is our most recent course, which is 12 myths from around the world. There are interactive comic books and choose your own adventure games as well. So all of these courses are included in the subscription. It's really our one-stop shop for learning English. Let's see if I can figure out how to stop sharing my screen again. Hi, I'm back. But yeah, thank you all so much for coming. I hope it was useful. Anyway, I will send you all a copy of the presentation so that you can look at it in your own time. So transitive or intransitive, separable or inseparable. And from there, it's just a question of memorization, I'm afraid. So we have flashcards on Verbivore as well as exercises to practice. But you just got to get out there and make a fool of yourself and make some mistakes, and don't be afraid of making mistakes. Most native English speakers are monolingual, although I don't know about the case in Canada because you also have French-speaking Canada, but at least from the UK, most of us are monolingual. So when anyone speaks to us in English, even if they make mistakes, we're just like so impressed. Like for us, learning a second language is like, So get out there, make some mistakes, and start improving your English. And nice to meet you all.
Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.